The National Police is now studying the rules issued by the Supreme Court on the mandatory use of body cameras in the execution of warrants. A simultaneous interfaith memorial service and other activities were held today to honor the fallen soldiers in the recent plane crash in Sulu. COVID-19 cases in the Philippines continue to rise, with the Health Department recording over 5,000 fresh infections across the country. A pediatric infectious disease expert supports the government's move to allow children aged 5 and above to go out of their homes. And Toyota Motor Philippines Premier Racing Series has finally returned after a break in 2020 due to COVID-19 infections. Focused and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Armed Forces of the Philippines held a ceremony earlier today to honor the casualties of the ill-fated C-130 aircraft. Let's get more details on this. Ryan Ang is joining us live from Zamboanga City. Ryan, can you tell us more about what happened, about the activity, please?
Risa, a simultaneous interfaith memorial prayer and a flag retreat ceremony was held to honor the casualties of the C-130 plane crash in Paticol, Sulu. Military personnel, public officials, and relatives of the fallen soldiers were present during the event here at the Western Mindanao Command Headquarters in Camp Navarro, Zamboanga City. Shortly after, Brigadier General Antonio Navarrete, Deputy Commander for Administration of the West Wincom, read the message of the AFP Chief of Staff. Navarrete was joined by Zamboanga City Mayor Ben Climaco in leading the wreath-laying ceremony at the Dambana ng Kagitingan. Afterwards, 3 volley of 21-gun salute followed and the sounding of tops. The soldiers then went in front of the admin building where the flag was retreated. Earlier today, Air Force officials visited wounded soldiers and civilians in 3 hospitals in Zamboanga City. They once again brought tokens for the survivors, which included food, medical supplies, and other necessities. These were donated by fellow soldiers from the Air Force. Colonel Dennis Estrella, commander of the Tactical Operations Wing Western Mindanao, said the survivors' conditions are getting better. Most notably, the 13-year-old boy and 5-month pregnant woman who were injured after the C-130 crashed through their houses. The boy suffered burns on his face and parts of his body, while the woman suffered burns on her arms and back. The AFP promised to continue to help and support the families of the fallen soldiers as well as the survivors of the tragic accident. Risa, authorities have already identified 20 cadavers retrieved in the crash site, while 29 others have yet to be named, pending the results of the DNA test. Riza?
Thank you. That was Brian Ang reporting live from Zamboanga City. The National Police welcomes the Supreme Court's move to issue rules on the use of body cameras in the execution of arrest and search warrants. In an earlier interview here on One News Now, PNP Chief Guillermo Eleazar said he has already ordered the creation of a technical working group to study and incorporate recent rules promulgated by the High Court. According to Eleazar, this would help ensure compliance among police officers.
I have ordered the creation of a technical working group in our PNP that will study and consolidate the rules on the use of body-worn cameras crafted by the Supreme Court. Ito yung magiging basihan namin in the implementation or the use of this camera.
Eleazar also said the regulated use of body cams will be a big help amid doubts and speculation in the conduct of PNP's operations. He added that this will work in favor of both the public and the police, as crimes will likely go down.
Ito nga will make our operations more transparent sa ating mga kababayan. And ito naman yung matagal nang pinag-uusapan. While it is true na hindi naman talaga, this will not solve everything. But basically, this will help us to become more accountable in everything that we do.
Now, here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. The Education Department acknowledged the apology issued by the World Bank and reiterated its commitment to resolving issues in the sector. The bank said the report describing the country's education as being of low quality was published before the DepEd had enough chance to provide inputs. Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi said he pities Senator Manny Pacquiao for being misguided after the latter ordered his expulsion from ruling party PDP-LABAN. Despite his supposed expulsion, Cusi said PDP-LABAN's activities on July 16 and 17 will push through as scheduled. And Phivolcs observed 8 volcanic earthquakes in Taal, including tremor events having durations of 1 to 2 minutes in the past 24 hours. The agency also noted low-level background tremor that has persisted since July 7. Taal remains under alert level 3. And we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. A pediatric infectious disease expert is backing the move of the national government to allow children outside their homes. Dr. Benjamin Ko told One News that even children should be allowed to go outside, but only in open spaces. Children aged 5 years and up have been allowed to or are allowed outdoors leisure sites in areas under GCQ and MGCQ.
I agree with them that we should allow the children to move out. There should be some mobility, particularly in open spaces, and that the parents should be responsible in taking care of the kids that go out together with them.
Ko, however, said the COVID-19 vaccination among children is unlikely to happen until most of the adults have been vaccinated. With this, Ko called on adult Filipinos to get their COVID-19 shots.
It's something that we should even consider until we have immunized adults. I've always said that once the adults don't get COVID, it is not likely that the children will get COVID.
Motorsports program Vios Cup is back, and this after the 2020 season was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now headlined by the brand Toyota Gazoo Racing, the first leg of the Vios Cup was held earlier today at the Clark International Speedway. Toyota Motor Philippines said public spectators were not allowed at the race venue due to quarantine and safety protocols. Despite this, communications manager Elvin Luciano said the event was a huge success. Luciano also assured motorsports fans that they can still follow the updates through the official Facebook pages of Toyota Motor Philippines and Toyota Gazoo Racing PH.
The biggest challenge is how to stage an event of this scale while thinking of the safety of the participants and the fans that are watching the show. This program is really for our fans and our motorsports enthusiasts So that's why we have prepared a special show for them so they can join in the action wherever they are.
The Vios Cup will have two racing events. The first is the Circuit Championship, where drivers race against each other in their respective classes. Circuit racers this year included celebrities Troy Montero, Fabio Ide, and Daniel Matsunaga. The other racing event is the Autocross Challenge, which was joined by media personalities Alex Diaz, Winwin Marquez, and Aaron Villaflor.
I love sports, but the adrenaline that I have here racing Vios Cup is just out of normal. It's really unbelievable.
Siyempre, first time ko rin naman mag-race. And I just wanted to enjoy kasi nakita ko na yung mga kasama kong gagaling. Usually, mga ganitong events, there are audience, diba? Your fans can watch you, they can hype you up. Siguro yun yung nakakamiss.
A space travel company is aiming to use giant balloons to bring 8 people at a time to a 19-mile high-pitched black lookout for $125,000. Let's watch this video from Bloomberg.
Looking for a vacation and have $125,000 laying around? You could float into the stratosphere on a space balloon. A new company called Space Perspective is changing the space travel game, aiming to use giant space balloons to bring 8 people at a time to a 19-mile high, pitch-black lookout for astronaut-style views of the planet Earth. Its hydrogen-powered balloon flights went on sale June 23rd and are slated for takeoff in 2024. According to the company, they've already sold more than 200 tickets. The company's co-founders met while taking part in Biosphere 2, the famed failed experiment of the early 90s that explored the viability of human life in outer space. Since then, the pair has served as technical advisors to Elon Musk on human spaceflight, built life support systems for space exploration, and helped set records for the highest space balloon flight ever recorded. When their vessel, Neptune 1, gets its finishing touches, likely in late 2023, it will join a nascent space tourism industry, which is finally bearing fruit after years of hype. Also in June, Virgin Galactic got the green light to fly to space from the FAA. But Space Perspective is different from its competitors in several key ways. For one, it doesn't actually reach outer space. Although definitions vary, NASA sets that boundary beyond the mesosphere, 50 miles above sea level. International bodies put it higher at 62 miles, a measure known as the Kármán line. Neptune 1 gets only a third as high, achieving epic views but no time in zero gravity. The trade-off is a safer, smoother flight that requires no pre-flight training for its passengers. Those who book will arrive on site a few days before a trip, allowing some time to visit the launch pad, tour the capsule, and make sure everyone feels comfortable. The trips will last about 6 hours, departing well before the crack of dawn in order to see the world's most spectacular sunrise creeping out from behind planet Earth. Along the way, space travelers can get out of their reclining seats, eat a fancy breakfast, order mimosas from a bar, or chat up the pilot, who doubles as a tour guide. Eventually, the balloon will slowly deflate, and the capsule will land gently in a large body of water, where a special boat will pick it up and bring the passengers back to shore. Space Perspective expects to conduct around 25 flights in its first year of operation, ramping up to 100 flights per location per year. The goal, say the founders, is to scale quickly and bring space tourism to the masses, or at least those that can afford it. This is Where To. I'm Nikki Eckstein. For more on the future of travel, follow us on your favorite platforms.
Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.